In front, power move. A one-time shot, he scores! Milwaukee, another breakaway shot. Goes for the goal. He scores! Rich got it. They score! Seals the deal! Hello and welcome to Gulls All Access presented by California Coast Credit Union. I'm your host, Aaron Cooney. Defense has been a focal point for the Anaheim Ducks as they build a foundation of young, exciting talent. None more promising than two-time defending WHL Defenseman of the Year, Olen Zellweger. The 20-year-old Calgary native was selected 34th overall in the 2021 NHL Draft and enters his first professional season after an esteemed junior career. I sat down with Olen to learn more about the Gulls' young defenseman.
Young defenseman, 32 goals last year in the Western Hockey League. You don't get forward scoring that many goals. So let me tell you, this is a player you want to come and see.
For Zellweger at the circle, Polk shoots, he scores! Olen Zellweger, his first in the American Hockey League. Today we welcome San Diego Gulls defenseman Olen Zellweger to the show. Olen, welcome to San Diego.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You really love the game of hockey. It seems like you're never coming off the ice. Has it always been that way from when you kind of get started to through junior and even training in the off season?
It's kind of always been that way. I like to take advantage of some extra time to, work on some skills or shooting and stuff like that. And yeah, it's been on ice and off ice. It's kind of, been a big passion for me.
Would it be right to say that the time you like to spend on the ice only kind of rivals your appetite? Because I've never seen somebody eat so much food as you do.
At this point, I can eat pretty much as I want to keep fueling my body for the next games and practices and stuff. So it's kind of just almost a habit, and but I can just keep eating kind of thing to keep my energy up.
So growing up in Calgary, what's that like? And I'm sure hockey is just takes over. That is life. Do you remember the first time you got into it and stepped onto the ice?
Went to the rink when I was just 5 days old with my parents. So that was a memory that they've told me. And other than that, we lived on a lake when I was younger. So we did a lot of outdoor rink and a lot of hockey on the lake during the winter season. So that was a lot of fun for me.
Even with your family and everything, was there somebody that really kind of influenced you, that pushed you towards hockey, that this could be a career choice and a life choice that you could end up going into?
It just kind of naturally became like my biggest passion. So, I looked up to Ovechkin as a kid in the Capitals just because all the goals he scored, and that was like my favorite thing, scoring. So I looked up to like Drew Doughty and Erik Karlsson. They were like, the pinnacle of defensemen. At that point, it was really special to like watch them and see where they were going in their career. So
you're going to be part of a wave, and these stories going to keep coming up because of that gap that junior player, everybody kind of missed with the COVID year. What was it about that you were able to take the negative and turn it into a positive with that extra training time and really using that long off season to your benefit?
Yeah, it was. So I think it was huge for me. I think a lot of guys, maybe took the time too lightly, kind of didn't really see the benefit in a training opportunity there. So I just, I had a outdoor rink in my yard, like half-size full arena with like boards, and then I had weights in my gym. So like pretty much every day of the week I would, like 6 days a week, I'd work out in the morning and then go in all my gear, full gear on the outdoor rink. So it was basically like I was training in a season for, however long that was, like almost a year there. So it benefited me a lot.
Head coach Matt McElvain and a few Gulls had the opportunity to spend Halloween with a few deserving families at a special event held at the Ronald McDonald House.
We provide a home away from home for families with a child in medical crisis. And so we try to kind of wrap around the entire family so they can go pay attention to what's going on next door. And it can be tough over at Rady Children's, at Sharp Mary Birch, and other hospitals in San Diego. So a day like today allows them to step away from that environment for a few hours, a few minutes, to have some opportunity to meet some great people, to understand a little bit more about what San Diego Gulls do in our community. A San Diego institution, the San Diego Gulls, make a very big difference to our house. They come to us 2 to 3 or 4 times a year just to help out, anywhere from days like a play day like today, and it's really been amazing to see the community support for the house, but the San Diego Gulls are hallmarks of that.
This venture in particular at the Ronald McDonald House is pretty cool, you know, just to be able to take care of the families of children that are fighting through something. A wolf! I'm afraid of wolves! In hockey, we've got busy schedules, we got road trips, we got games, and the reality is that community is a priority. And, you know, any little things that we can do for San Diego is great. And, you know, for us, a little bit of perspective too, coming to a place like this and being able to give time and then just watch the kids smile. It's a really cool thing.
Well, you did a great job shooting today. I didn't know Luigi could shoot the puck so well.
With everything that they have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, and if we can come here for even if the short time that we're here for and be able to give back and contribute to, again, putting a smile on these kids' faces, there's no better feeling that you can have.
Coming up, Gulls TV and radio color analyst BJ MacPherson joins the show to discuss the construction of the roster and what fans can expect from the flock of young talent. Right here on Gulls All Access, presented by California Coast Credit Union. Be at Pechanga Arena on Friday, November 24th when the Gulls take on the Chicago Wolves at 7 p.m. Treat yourself to the new and improved Gulls Blue Line Blonde Ale for only $5, available every Friday home game this season. Visit sandiegogulls.com/tickets to secure your seats now. The Gulls have partnered with Mason Aleworks on the newest version of its signature beer, the Gulls Blue Line Blonde Ale. The specialty beer will be featured on all Friday night games here at Pechanga Arena during the 23-24 season. Braden Tracy and Trevor Carrick were in attendance at the Rabbit Hole in Normal Heights for the launch party for the Gulls' new brew.
Amazing to have an opportunity to work with such a world-class organization, such great people, deep roots in San Diego, going all the way back to the 1940s. So, you know, for us, this is, you know, as good as doing something with anybody else in San Diego, if not better. And we're so passionate about this sport and what the Gulls mean to the community in general. The Gulls are San Diego.
There's a lot of complexity to it, but it is also something that any common fan can enjoy. You know, it's a nice, like straw-like, very like a nice little golden hue that kind of gives it the character that you would expect out of like a cream ale, but just nice, light, refreshing, your typical everyday porch beer.
Delicious. We're deep in conversations with a handful of local retailers, and then quite a few places are going to have it on draft. So we expect that over the first month or two of the season, you're going to start to see it at a lot of your local bottle shops. You should see it at some good local chains. Basically, any place you can find good beer.
This would be a perfect drink for Friday night at Pechanga Arena at 7 o'clock.
It's cool to see people that you've known for years, season ticket holders, holding your beer, posting about it. So yeah, it's a pretty awesome experience so far.
As somebody who's been following the Gulls for 30 years, to then all of a sudden have something that we've been working so hard on be there, it's a dream come true. In terms of being a beer brand that's been around for 8 years, but then to have a partnership like this, we feel like we're going pro.
Let's go Gulls!
We're joined now by Gulls color commentator BJ MacPherson. BJ, looking at this Gulls group, what are your first impressions in the first month and a half of the season?
Well, right away you come out with these guys are young, but what it is it's grit, it's talent, and you can see it in it. There's energy. Each game so far, the Gulls, from the start of the game to 60 minutes, the grit is there, the talent is there. It's just going to take some time. It's going to be like one of those stories where you start off, you can't get a win. You watch here in months, maybe a year or two, this team's going to be one of those ones they're not going to be losing.
Gulls fans, what can they expect, you think, the rest of the way out?
Well, just stay with them right now. Again, I talk about the Gulls being young. That's going to give them time, get some games under their belt, get some experience, have some of the older guys take them under their wings. It's going to take some time in the American Hockey League, but what you're going to see is a lot of guys with a lot of work ethic, and the talent's going to come through. You'll see that at the end.
BJ, first impressions of the first-year head coach, Matt McElvain. What do you see from him?
Positivity, that's what he brings. It's always upbeat in the practices. He's always talking to the guys, getting the betterment, if that's even a word. He doesn't want to bring anything negative to a team. It's always nice to have a coach like that. Too many times in the olden days, a coach always hammers on the negative things, on the little thing I did wrong in the game, but to be positive constantly and having that in practice, brings a different culture.
We're a little over a seventh of the way through the season. Who has stood out to you so far this season on the roster?
Well, you'd like to say defensively or offensively, but you can say that in the same boat. Zellweger, here's the defenseman in junior hockey. Look at the stats he's put up there. What I like is from the game the other night, you and I talking going into the third period, we said, how many shots has he got so far? And he had 5 going into the third period. That's what he does. He shoots the puck, and that's what we need a lot more of. So he's one of the guys offensively, but also on the big tough guys, I think, is a power forward, Pavel Regenda. You got to like him putting the puck in the net.
Always helps. Looking at some of the older guys on this group that are going to be mentors for the young group, what do you like out of the names like Agazino, Carrick, and even to an Alex Stalock as a goaltender?
Well, Agazino's one of the guys we don't get to go in the locker room, so we don't get to see the way he's a leader. But on the ice, he shows it. If you're a guy just watching, you can tell he's a leader. He does the right thing the majority of the time, and that's how you show the young guys. Trevor Carrick, back on the blue line. From the start of the year till now, I think he's probably the star of the team. I think he brings it game in, game out. Just the other night, he drops the gloves with a tree. 6'8" guy, you bring that to the lineup, you got to love it. When you get a goalie in the lineup as one of the veterans and a leader, just watching the game, you can hear him from where we sit up there 180 miles away from the ice. You can hear him out there. It's like having an extra coach.
We talked a little bit about Olen Zellweger, but there is a great group of young rookies, that crop that has worked its way onto the Gulls roster. Who else has stood out to you for the first-year guys?
Well, I think one of the toughest positions in hockey is the center line. So Gauthier playing center. He's got to play both ways, offensively and defensively. And defensively, you're like a defenseman out there. You're the third guy down low. He picks up his first professional goal the other night. He's a guy you watch out because he's one of the guys in the tight game, he's there for you. In the blowout, he's there for you. He's what you call an overall hockey player. Watch for him, the big leadership in years to come.
A couple other big guys like Caulfield and Ben King. What have you seen from them so far?
Well, those are two types of hockey players that they bring the makeup to a team. You can have 10 guys on the power play, but those are the type of guys, 5-on-5 hockey. They're going to come out in the end of the season, hopefully plus 10, plus 12. They bring the little bits in the corner, taking the body, getting the puck out to the blue line. They do the little things that you don't really put the stats on. They make it happen.
There's a handful of guys on this roster in their second, third year with the group. Who stands out that could be making that jump, that leap to the Ducks very soon?
I think I got to go back to Pavel Regenda. You look at what he's been doing, putting the puck in the net. He's a power forward, big body, takes the body at all times. He gets in front of the net. A lot of times he's taking the whacks and hacks, but you got to do that. You got to take the punishment to get the goals, and I think so far this year, he's been the standout.
BJ, special teams always so important in hockey games. What have you seen so far from the Gulls groups, and also taking a look at the discipline that they have out there?
Well, you just said it. So special teams is huge, and you're a better team when you've got more power plays and you're killing penalties. But discipline right now has been the issue for the Gulls. So staying out of the box is going to help them with their penalty kill. Power play, they've got enough guys out there to put 3 different power play units out. But the big key is discipline, and that's something this team is going to fix. They're going to fix it in a hurry because it's a little out of hand right now. You talk to every player on the team, they'll agree with that. It'll change.
Gulls started out 2-0, a bit of a skid after that, but moving into the month of December, what can we see from this group moving forward as you get out of that skid?
Well, coming out right away, having the 2 big wins in Ontario, I even talked about it, probably a little bit too quick to pull the trigger. Since then, the Gulls have struggled, and what it is playing the full 60 minutes. American League's a lot different than junior hockey, and these guys are young, and we keep talking about being young. But you watch them as the games to come. They're losing these games by 1 and 2. Yeah, they had a blowout the other night, but you got to throw that one out. This team will come. They're going to get better, staying out of the box, playing the 60 minutes.
Thanks for your analysis, BJ. We always appreciate it on Gulls All Access.
Thanks very much.
Coming up, we have part 2 of our sit-down interview with Olen Zellweger, right here on Gulls All Access, presented by California Coast Credit Union. Hey kids, Gulliver's Kids Club is back. The 2023-24 Kids Club membership includes a duffel bag, a bucket hat, flashlight, 3 ticket vouchers, and more for only $30. Purchase your Kids Club membership now by visiting sandiegogulls.com/kidsclub. A recent road trip to Charlotte, North Carolina provided an opportunity for some team building as the guys headed out to Topgolf to see who has the best swing on the team.
Yeah, we got the guys out to the Topgolf here in Charlotte, and right now we're just having a competition. I think it's going to be pretty fun.
Do the old Happy Gilmore. Treat yourself.
Shooting-wise, doing great so far. In the lead right now in our little game, so feeling good. I got it with Gaucher. I mean, he's hit some really good balls, and I like his ball flight. Like he's got that tight draw, so I mean, it's a pretty nice shot when you see it in action.
Oh! You're not that bad for manager.
Who aren't you worried about when you look down the line?
I won't be. Not for a second. Not for a second. Well, I think in the group next to us, there's Jordan there, our trainer, so he's having a couple whacks at it, but it's all in fun, and he's trying his best. So.
Oh. All right, last one before this club goes flying. All right, I gotta get the driver out a couple times here. Oh! We're getting points on that one, though.
Out of our 5, I'm gonna say, I don't know. Trevor's leading right now. If he can stay hot, maybe he'll come out on top. Who knows?
The player's been a good surprise. He's hitting nice, and Let's is consistent, but Clarkie's probably the biggest threat.
And now part 2 of our sit-down interview with defenseman Olen Zellweger. Let's dive a little deeper into your draft year and start U18s. That was kind of the first major stage that you got on. You didn't get that invite to the U17s. Like, it was kind of odd reading your story and how you get there. But the U18s, was that the first time you're like, I'm going out here to prove everybody wrong? And for your performance, leading in defenseman in points and assists, and ultimately to a gold medal.
Yeah, it was a good opportunity there. I obviously started the tournament playing, a little bit, not too much, obviously, and then as the tournament went on, I continued to feel more comfortable and confident, and we really pieced together a great tournament as a team, and it was a great opportunity for me there.
And that kind of sprung you forward to the NHL draft. Take me to day 2. What's going through your body? What's going on with the family? What are you feeling heading in there? Did you know Anaheim had interest?
I didn't know for sure. It was early in the morning. It was over Zoom, right, for COVID there. So I had a few of my family members there, my parents, grandparents, some siblings. So it was really exciting. I guess it was only 2 picks after that morning. So we watched the whole first round the day before. So it was good to have it right away the next day.
So were you right back into the gym as soon as after the draft was over and and preparing for the next season?
Yeah, probably. I think that day I had some buddies over and we were like shooting pucks in the yard or something. But that's just what we like to do. That's what I like to do. I'm not gonna be someone I'm not.
Take me through your 3rd season in Everett, because you just took off. I mean, WHL Defenseman of the Year. Did you have a chip on your shoulder by not being picked in the first round, just missing out by a couple of picks? Yeah. Were you out to prove everybody wrong?
After I'm not picked in the first round, that's just the way it is. I can't control that. So, but no, I was really excited for that season. I improved a ton over that time, and I always kind of knew that I could be a really good player offensively and really drive the play. So that was kind of the first year that I was kind of like the guy that the coach would lean on in those situations a lot. So I just really took that opportunity and ran with it, and we had a great team that year. So a lot of credit to those players and coaching staff.
You go into your final junior year, and there's always a odd I guess, question that comes up in the debate within junior hockey circles is like, all right, this guy's going his 19-year-old year. What does he have left to prove? Like, he's truly ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
But you went out and just blew away even more records and led the league in scud as a defenseman in scoring on that side. WHL Defenseman of the Year for a second time. CHL Defenseman of the Year. Did you feel you had more to prove? Because you went out there and certainly did it.
I was just ready to really turn it up a bit. So, yeah, and ended up being traded to Kamloops, and I really, focused in on, playing my best every opportunity I got. And, yeah, I just kind of took off there with a lot of great opportunity and stuff like that, and a lot of great teammates and coaching staff. So, yeah, it was a good last season.
Coming in your first pro year and having been around for a couple camps now, is there anybody that's kind of taking you under their wing and showing you the ropes and what it kind of takes to be a professional?
Specifically, I would say this training camp, I practiced a lot with Radko Gudis with the Ducks, so I learned a lot from him, just watching him, playing with him. He's really vocal, and now here I'm playing on a pairing with Colton Wire now. So, it's a lot of great players that I'm learning from and playing with, so it makes it pretty easy for me.
What are you looking to accomplish in your first pro season?
Yeah, looking into this year, I want to, have a really positive year as a team. I think we're gonna really grow a lot, and it'll be a tough team to play against really soon. So, individually, I want to continue to just grow my game. I want to feel really confident every night that I know that I can make an impact on both ends of the puck. I think, if that's the case, it'll be a really successful year for myself and the team.
That'll do it for this show. Join us next time when we take a stroll down memory lane with Trevor Carrick as he takes us on a tour of Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm Aaron Cooney. Thanks for tuning in to Gulls All Access, presented by California Coast Credit Union.